The resurrected Jesus gave this command to his disciples. Then Jesus came to them and said, "All authority in heaven and on earth has been given to me. Therefore go and make disciples of all nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father and of the Son and of the Holy Spirit, and teaching them to obey everything I have commanded you." This passage is referred to as the Great Commission. Interestingly, the Barna Group polled self-described Christians and found the following. 51% had no idea what this meant. 6% said they just weren't sure. 17% said, yes, I know what it is and I know what it means. And 25% said, yes, but I can't recall the exact meaning. Now, this may surprise many people, but I'm not surprised by these statistics at all. While Jesus' command is important, the term Great Commission applied to these words isn't actually a biblical or historical term. It wasn't used until the 19th century and was coined to make the command easy to identify and market in certain churches and denominations. Now, there's nothing wrong with that, but I think that the term a Great Commission may be somewhat time-bound. Now, the command, named or not, does have importance for Christians. So the Great Commission will be our exploration for the week. The command calls on all Christians to make disciples and baptize. But what does that mean? Well, a disciple is another word for student. We are all called to share our personal experience with others so we might stimulate the desire in others to know more, so that they too might become students of the teachings of Christ. Baptism is immersing in water, but it's not just being sprinkled or submerged in water. It's being changed or altered, not just washed. Physical baptism is a powerful symbol of the church, and it's been used throughout history, but it is not necessary for salvation. The key component is the changing of the individual, not the act of being sprinkled or immersed. Baptism of the individual implies a change in that individual. Those changes are acknowledging our sin, understanding who Christ is and what he has done for us, accepting the forgiveness of God the Father, receiving the presence of the Holy Spirit, and to study and obey the teachings of Christ the Son. And so that's where we have this Trinitarian formula of baptism of Father, Son, and Holy Spirit in the name of the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. They are all part of that baptism experience and change that Christians should undergo. These things are embraced on an intellectual level, and that is what changes an individual. It begins in their mind. So Christ tells us to share our knowledge of who Christ is and what he does. By doing so, we stimulate the intellectual curiosity of new students or new disciples who want to know more. When individuals learn more, they undergo a transformation of the mind, which allows them to follow Christ more closely and gives them a desire to study and follow the teachings of Christ. And so the Great Commission is all about sharing, inspiring, and transforming.